What is up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to the LB Raider 10 YouTube channel. And it is week number 2, Raiders versus Chargers, Monday Night Football, for a battle for the top of the AFC West, honestly. And it's going to be a huge battle in Las Vegas, Monday night. Let's go ahead and let's get forward to the preview.
Las Vegas Raiders at home to see if they can start the Pete Carroll era off 2-0.
And the strong Raiders contingent already celebrating behind their bench.
They welcome the Los Angeles Chargers from Rio to the Strip. What's this, Hangover 4? Zach G going to be in it? Bolts off to Las Vegas off what they hope is an early season statement win.
What a night for Justin Herbert, and that might have just wrapped it up.
Yeah, like I said, this game is going to be huge for both sides, the Chargers and the Raiders. Both are coming off very convincing wins in week number 1. The Chargers beating the Chiefs in Brazil. Obviously, the Chiefs have been one of the best teams in the NFL for the past couple of seasons. So that is huge. And then the Raiders with a huge performance out of Geno Smith. Pete Carroll's first win as a Raider. They go to Foxborough. Wet conditions, they beat the Patriots. So both of these teams are coming into this football game with the confidence that they are going to beat each other. So it's going to be an explosive and I think close Monday Night Football game for, like I said also, the top of the AFC West.
Justin Herbert ignited the Chargers offense to the tune of 27 points, equipped with Keenan Allen, McLovin, and Quentin Johnston. Eugene's finest comes in off a 300-plus yard outing, 3 TDs, a 130-plus rate, paid him all that coin. Maybe they're planning on getting their money's worth this year.
Nice find by Justin Herbert to split the two defenders.
They get in the ring with a defense led by fourth-year DC Patrick Graham that just held the Patriots to 13 points after hearing all week about how Drake May was going to break out this year, held the Pats to 4 for 14 on third down.
That pass batted down, and Pete Carroll's defense starting to flex.
Black Hole's remade offense, room to grow, but lots of positives to build off of. Just 20 points, only 5 for 13 on third down. Geno Smith was picked off once, sacked 4 times. However, he comes in off a 100-plus rating game. Lots of deep ball completions, over 360 yards passing.
Puts some air under it, near side, locates Bowers.
The Chargers defense, he'll try and keep it rolling against. Number 1 in scoring last year, held KC to 21, held him to 5 for 14 on third.
With pressure right up the middle, gets it away quick.
Yeah, Geno Smith is going to be absolutely huge for this Raiders team. He had a really big performance in week number 1 in the rain. I think it's only going to get better from here on out. The Raiders obviously play indoors, so that's where he's known to be really good as well. He's been actually better indoors than he's been outdoors. So that's a huge plus for the Raiders and Geno Smith. And then they touched on Justin Herbert a little bit earlier. Justin Herbert, to me, I think is going to be the deciding factor for this game. He's the one person on the Chargers side that makes me a little bit nervous because the Raiders played against a good quality quarterback in Drake May, but nowhere near Justin Herbert's caliber. So the Raiders defense is going to have a lot on their plate heading into week number 2 here.
And that is dropped.
It was a solid showing that could have been better, had trouble with some Mahomes ad-libbed runs, gave up 250-plus yards passing to him, a couple of big breakdowns mixed in.
Going deep for Thornton. That's a connection.
But they also held Mahomes to a sub-90 rate. Tahir Tart got his hands on 2 balls and Travis Swift's face. Geno got dropped 4 times. Bolt's pass rush, couple of sacks, and nice robust 8 QB hits.
Mahomes goes down on the first snap.
One of the TDs LA allowed went to Travis Kelce. Now they face Brock Bowers, who looks like TK87 back when all he cared about was football. Bowers started his 2025 off with a 100-plus yard game.
Geno Smith steps up and completes. Bowers, plenty of open grass.
6
I know that there is some skepticism on how healthy Brock Bowers actually is. I think he's going to be completely fine. I know, or I've seen that they said that he is completely fine to play and that it was just kind of a precaution to keep him out of the rest of the Patriots game. So I'm hoping that Brock Bowers is going to be... Actually, not hoping. I know Brock Bowers is going to beat Brock Bowers and he's going to have a Brock Bowers type game.
Raiders went for 20-plus yards in Week 1. Wideout Dante Thornton debuted with 45.
Smith underneath, and they get it. Thornton
Trey Tucker hauled in a big TD over 50 yards.
to the end zone, wide open.
And maybe Jacoby Myers will rethink where he wants to play, being Smith targeted him more than anyone else. 97 yards, 8 catches.
The one-time Patriot tiptoes and weaves
Jacoby Myers had a really big game. I think that contract situation gets done pretty soon.
his way.
Quiet game from their prized first-round running back, though. Ashton Genty, 19 carries, 2 per run. He did score at least.
So much power, he's gonna bang it in.
This is the guy right here that I want to see the Raiders flow their offense through. Ashton Genty. The 6th overall pick. He didn't have a great week last week in Foxborough. Like he said, had a touchdown though. But I do want to see Ashton Genty put it all together, have a really good game. I think he's going to rush for over 100 yards this week. The field's not going to be wet. They play indoors. The grass is immaculate. I've seen it before. So I think all the factors are going to look towards Ashton Genty's way, and I think he's going to have a really big game.
The LA rush defense he will try and break out against gave up 98 yards to Kansas City, but most of it came from Mahomes scrambles. They held Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt to a combined 40 yards on 10 carries, so against backs, their numbers looked a lot better.
There's Pacheco, and he just gets smacked.
Speaking of backs, running back Omarion Hampton also got drafted in the first round, also started off his NFL career slow. Hampton just 3.2 yards per carry, left his debut with 48 yards.
Hampton gets met by a host of Chiefs.
Najee Harris only had 1 carry, so should see more of him this week, against fourth-year DC Patrick Graham's run defense that held the Patriots to 60 yards rushing. Is that enough, or do I have to go Bart Simpson chalkboard and do it 47 more times? I'm sorry I spaced.
They really haven't been able to get that run game going.
Herbert's looking at a secondary that gave up 285-plus yards to May, but held him to a low 80s rate, picked him off.
That's the takeaway that Pete Carroll and his defense needed.
They're susceptible to a good booty game. I mean, who isn't, right?
That's what I kind of was talking about a little bit earlier. While watching the Patriots game, it seemed like all of the deep to intermediate, in breaking routes, in breaking throws, they seem to be open. The Chargers have a better wide receiver core and a better quarterback talent. So that's going to be a little bit challenging for our defensive backs, but it's really going to be on the backs of our defensive front to get pressure on the quarterback, to get home, to get, to Justin Herbert to disrupt those throws. Because when we did get to Drake May and disrupt the throws, Isaiah Pola-Mao had an interception. Max Crosby got in there, got either a little too close to Drake May, or I think he actually hit his arm on the throw, and he overthrew the receiver. Isaiah Pola-Mao came down with the interception. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to, is our defensive front for this Chargers game in Week 2.
Gave up 100-plus yards to Kayshawn, 57 to Stephon Diggs. Now they face an even tougher group. LA's wide receiver trio, hoping to carry over their Week 1 showings. Johnston scored twice, 79 yards.
Fading back over the middle. Johnston.
Allen with a TD, most targets on the team. Herbs loved that dude in the past, so no shock there. 68 yards.
For the end zone, there's Keenan Allen. Touchdown.
And Ladd McConkey rounds things out, enters off a 74-yard outing, looks open on every down, doesn't he? That's a tough 3 to track based on that first look.
See that play over and over with the Chargers.
Plus,
And that's exactly what I was talking about. Those 3 receivers are better than the 3 receivers that we had seen in New England, so that's what's going to make me a little bit nervous.
newcomer tight end Ty Conklin made a nice impression with a bolt on his helmet for the first time, racking up 50 yards.
And another wide open receiver.
Chargers O-line would like to shore a few things up week over week, gave up 3 sacks, 2 of them were on blitzes though, so only 1 was actually blamed on a lineman.
Herbert taken down by George Karlaftis.
Now Herbert has to dodge Mad Max, and he might not be playing the road warrior role anymore. Vegas comes off a 4-sack game. Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson also getting in on the action.
Boy, what a huge play that is for Wilson. They've been waiting for this kid to
Yes.
step into that potential.
Chargers
Again, like I said, it's going to be really dependent on our defensive front to get to the quarterback to disrupt Justin Herbert's timing and, really negate the explosiveness of this offense and the potential that they could really have, especially with those receivers that had really good games in week 1.
Raiders are what you call old school beef. Started together in 1960, only one playoff meeting ever, and it was a good one. Do you know the year? The winner landed in the Super Bowl.
And so these remarkable Raiders, picked for last in the West, roared into hostile San Diego for the AFC Championship game. The final quarter featured the field goal accuracy of Chris Barr and a decision to pound out the game's final minutes by giving the ball to pressure-proof, all-time rushing leader Mark Van Egan, number 30.
It is all over. The jubilation begins. The Raiders are bound for the Super Bowl for the 3rd time, climaxing one of the great stories in football in recent years, the total resurgence of the silver and black. New Orleans, here come the Raiders.
All right, here we go. As you can see, the media is sleeping on us. I always appreciate Maurice Jones-Drew for, kind of always riding with the Raiders. And hey, you know what? This looked pretty similar to what the preview picks looked like last week. There was a lot of New England, not a lot of Raiders. So I think for the most part, it seems like most people have this being a relatively close game, about a one-score-ish game, except for Wolf and Adam Rank, it looks like. But I think it's going to be close. I don't think that the Chargers are going to run away with it. I don't think the Raiders are going to run away with it. I think it's going to be a really good Monday Night Football game, and it's going to come down to better coaching. And honestly, I think that it's going to come down to who can really establish their running game. I think the Raiders have a better rushing attack, or the potential to have a better rushing attack, because week 1 we didn't really see it. But I think the Ashton Jeanty is going to have a really good game. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments what your score prediction is. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you have actually being the MVP for this game on either side of the ball, for the Raiders or the Chargers? And also, who do you have being at the top of the AFC West after week number 2? But I'm going to go ahead and go with the Raiders. I believe that my prediction on my Wednesday night show was 24-21, 24-20. So I'm going to go ahead and stick around that same range right there. But I am going to have the Raiders winning the game. And like I said, I think it's going to be coming down to the Raiders establishing the running game and really keeping the high potent and electric Chargers offense off of the field. If we can, be efficient with our possessions, score on every possession or almost every possession, I think that the Raiders will come out with this victory. But that's it. Make sure to like, subscribe. I will be having my Boston vlog type video coming out really soon. It's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it should be possibly out either this weekend, maybe before the game on Monday. So make sure to subscribe if you're really interested in that. But besides that, thank you, Raider Nation. Just win, baby.